and we'll try and bring you guys like some extra games, but probably not today, but maybe later in the week or something. Just bring you guys some of the extra games from these from this bracket, because we've done that in the past, and while obviously the tournament's wrapped up, we kind of know the results. It's still really cool to get to see some of these extra games that we wouldn't cast in English otherwise. And that's one of the big benefits about having the multiple streams. Obviously, you guys can watch the other games, but also it means that we can grab the replays from our other streamers as well. And again, just bring you guys more action overall from the event, which is awesome. I mean, when you got players like Innovation, I mean, just when you've got a bracket like this in general, and it's so heavy, it's so stacked to the brim with great players. From start to finish, you're gonna have great games. And obviously, towards the end, we cast both semi-finals. We cast the finals as well, and obviously we'll try and do our best to catch as many round of 8 games as possible. But it is nice if we can, it's earlier on when there's so many games at the same time. We can't guarantee casting everything, obviously, otherwise the tournament would take forever, and then players wouldn't sign up. But it's nice if we can go back and say, you know what, let's maybe let's cast this series that we didn't get to cast. And yeah, okay, it might not be today, but if you're a fan of the channel and you have that follow button pressed, then you'll be able to catch us when we're live, most likely, or VODs are always readily available over on the Twitch page or on YouTube. Just we're having a bit of issue with YouTube at the minute, but I'll talk about that later because I've gone 2 minutes without introducing these players, which is somewhat of a crime. So with that said, we do have to the top left hand side of the map our blue Terran player. Give it up for Ryung. And to the bottom right, our green Protoss player from 1F Pro Gaming just joined the team yesterday. It is JackO. 1F Pro, a C-based team. JackO actually a player from Luxembourg, but is now currently residing in Japan for the year. And so representing 1F Pro, I imagine for the time he's in Japan, maybe he'll stay with them when he comes back to Europe. If he comes back to Europe, I'm not sure exactly what his plans are. As far as I was aware, he's away for a year in Japan, and that's about it. But obviously, plenty of time for that to change or whatever else. So, but yeah, set up into this TVP. I'm just going to be seeing the Reaper coming down towards the bottom right-hand side very early on here. So Ryung just having a little bit of a scout to see what's happening in these early stages. So scouting down towards the bottom right, we're going to see this Pronexus. Just Corona boosting out right now as a probe. Going to get blasted by this grenade, and I'm going to see this Adept continue move forwards from JackO as well. Reaper is going to get pushed away just outside of the natural expansion. Mothership core here is going to be, hitting on this Reaper, so a couple of shots, and just going to be seeing the Robo Facility and the Twilight Council also on the way up. So again, JackO early here is just looking to build up in a very similar way as he did on Proxima Station, which is pretty safe, pretty standard, no real surprises. He's not gone for the Twilight Council first or early to kind of rush out a Dark Shrine perhaps, or rush out Glaives to go all in with. So it looks as though it's just going to be 3 gates once again, Blink, and just looking to try and play a nice standard macro play style in the coming minutes. See Overcharge coming down, just help get rid of the Reaper. I mean, every time you can deny scouting as early as possible, the better it is going to be for you. And Ryung here only sees the Robo, he doesn't see the Twilight, so he's missing a little bit of information. But that said, I mean, seeing a Robo Facility is pretty decent information anyways. I mean, with a Robo up, you kind of know it's going to be more macro focused most likely, and especially if you see the timing of that Robo, you can already say to yourself, right, well, okay, it's not going to be this build, it's not going to be that build. It's not going to be a DT rush at this sort of time at least, so that's good information already here from Ryung. In these early stages, he goes across the map with his double Widowmine drop. This is obviously a little bit different from the last game. He didn't bother to build a Cyclone this time around. And he just leaves some Marines at home while he sends the Widowmines across here to try and get some damage done. And well, let's see if he's going to be successful. A few Stalkers in the main base. Unfortunately, he's kind of positioning his Stalkers in not quite the right position, but that's what the Mothership Core is here for, and what it can do really well at is just shutting this down very easily. As the Medevac is just going to stay alive, really? Wow, that's pretty sick for Ryung. You see this, I mean, he's still actually denying mining as well as another probe goes down. That's really sick, actually, from the position he was in. Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I'm finding it hard to kind of describe this now. So, this is pretty sick save. Like, considering he was about to lose the Medevac, he got so much damage out of this. Killed 2 probes, lost a lot of mining, took away a lot of mining time on half of this mineral line. And then he could have probably gotten away with the Medevac if he boosted through the left side. And, he was a bit greedy and tried to save the Widow Mines, basically. And I don't know how much I agree with that, because if you save the Widow Mines, like, where are you going to go? Like, you've still got to get out of this base alive, which is not going to be simple with these Stalkers up in such a low health medevac. And, you know, if you're going to undrop the Widow Mines here and run them in, then probably not going to do much either. So, it was a very risky play, and, well, he loses that medevac. We talked about kind of the importance of maybe keeping the first medevac alive in the first game. It does then kind of make the third medevac, you know, it becomes a third medevac basically when the main army starts to gather together with the bio forces. And just make things a little bit stronger. So, I mean, just a little bit of a misplay by Ryung. Just misread the situation or misread the potential. Or you just thought you could get away with it and you couldn't. JackO, good placement on his Stalkers as well. As you see, Marines and Marauders still just gathering together towards the natural expansion now. In the meanwhile, we will see JackO going into the double forge. He's going in towards the Colossus play once again. The Robo Bay starting to upgrade that extend ultra-thermal lance. So, fast Colossus really looking to build up an army and focus on army production and upgrades and all the rest of this sort of tech before he moves in towards a third base too quickly, you know. He was really looking to defend and then to expand rather than to expand and then defend, which has actually been the more common kind of mindset of Protoss players throughout Legacy of the Void until rather recently when Protoss have been having trouble with Terran and they have started going for this kind of much more defensive and almost kind of pseudo-aggressive build as well, where, you know, because they're building up so much, obviously the idea is to take a third, but they have a lot to push with as well, potentially. So, all of that said and done, all of that mentioned, you know, JackO should have a plenty to kind of defend here. Let's see if he's going to be able to make it happen as we see the Widow Mine get pushed away just a little bit. We see more Prism as well. The left-hand side kind of gets chased, doesn't get to chase too far though. These units still just gathering together and continue to push down to the south. Stalkers are still around as well, and they're still looking to see which direction they can go in. Taking the center, then blinking away. You see a little bit of a double drop in towards the main base, and already one pylon going to go down. That wasn't a good overcharge, and well, now the overcharge available isn't really a good one at all, as we see sentries are going to be caught in the middle of nowhere. And this one drop is already just catching JackO a little bit off guard, and well, now the Mothership core goes down. I mean, he's going to chase the Colossus. The Colossus falls, and we've got more units coming in from the other side. Well, these adepts aren't going to last for too long either, and I mean, another Colossus might be about to pop out, but there's absolutely nothing to reinforce it. Stalkers from the middle of the map just not going to be able to do enough.